ATVs lead tough lives, but one of the reasons Honda ATVs are so reliable is because our engineers and designers look at every part and try to figure out how they can improve it. And part of improving it is making sure it's well protected from potential damage. Our Ranchers may be in the middle of our utility ATV lineup, but they're right up in front when it comes to the attention to detail that keeps Honda ATVs ahead of the rest and keep running out in the field or on the trail when other ATVs are broken down. Let's start with some of the obvious things you can see. Look at how the radiator is mounted up high, backing away from any sticks that might flip up on the trail. In addition, the radiator is fully boxed in on the sides and bottom. It's really protected from nearly everything. Mounting it firmly keeps it from bouncing around, and air guides on the side channel plenty of cool air in. If you want to mount a winch, we've designed a special spot for it too, also giving it plenty of protection. This makes the winch easy to install, and the winch and installation kit are available as a Honda Genuine accessory. A tough skid plate runs the length of the ATV from the front bumper guard all the way back to the swing arm pivot, and the front is specially rounded so it's less likely to hang up on rocks, logs, or brush. Towards the rear, you'll see special armor for the U-joint in the drive line and where the drive shaft joins the final drive. Up front, the CV boots on our four-wheel drive Ranchers get special guards too. The fuel tank is made from plastic, so rust is never a problem, even if the ATV lives in an unheated shed or barn. Now, what can be a big problem with some other ATVs is heat management, but not with a Honda. First, check out all the heat shielding on the exhaust system. And also notice how we route the electrical harness and all of the breather tubes far away from the exhaust pipe on the other side of the ATV. They're up high, tucked in, and all in one clean bundle. There's nothing to snag, chafe, or get yanked loose here. Even little things like the final drive breather tube get the Honda treatment, routing up high and out of the way. Wiring and control cable guides in the steering area let cables move freely, but keep everything organized and trouble-free. It's details like these that keep a Honda Rancher going, while other ATVs are stuck on the side of the trail or back in the shop. And once you know how a Honda is built, you'll see why choosing a Rancher is the smart way to go. If there's one thing people think of when they hear the name Honda, it's reliability. A big part of that comes from our superior design and use of quality materials. But even the best vehicles need occasional service to keep running at their full potential. And that's why we've gone to great lengths to make periodic maintenance on your new 2012 Rancher easier than ever. Let's start by removing the seat. Notice how everything is nice and tidy under here with no wires hanging loose or hoses all over the place. Pop off these 4 clips and you get to the air filter. Look under the rear fender and you can check the coolant level. Remove this small access cover to the rear and you can top up the coolant reservoir. This gives you easy access to the battery and the fuse block too. Under the left side cover is the combination oil dipstick and filler. Off comes the right side cover and the oil filter is right there. And finally, by removing the small front panel, you can access the radiator cap. It all just takes seconds and it goes back together just as fast. It's just another example of Honda engineers thinking ahead and how the Ranchers are the best thought out ATVs you can find. If all the Rancher's toughness, smart engineering, and superior features haven't convinced you yet, one thing should. Hondas are the best built ATVs in the world. Honda invented the ATV, and the new Rancher continues to lead in innovation. Every one of our new Ranchers is made in America. It's designed and tested by Honda's R&D team in Ohio, and manufactured at our dedicated plant in South Carolina. And nobody can offer the build quality and attention to detail that Honda does. Check out the frame welds. Look at the hourglass final drive shafts that increase strength while decreasing weight. See how Hondas use heavy-duty, tubular steel racks where others use plastic. And how we've even added special tie-down points in the corners. Notice how Honda uses self-lubricated suspension points and seal tie rod ends where others use fittings that require frequent maintenance with a grease gun. Or how the frame features special gusseting where others just weld a bunch of tubes together. Even the gas cap uses a coarse pitch thread and a ratcheting design so it's impossible to cross-thread or over-tighten and damage the threads on the fuel tank. It all adds up to an ATV that's going to outlast the competition and work better because it's built better. Nobody can touch Honda's reputation for quality over the long haul. If you're looking for an ATV that's going to last, then you need to choose a Honda. We've sold over 700,000 Ranchers since we introduced our first model back in 2000, and we have many satisfied customers. Today we've chosen 3 and decided to let them tell you why they're so happy with their Hondas. You'll hear them tell you about how Honda quality, innovation, and features turn them into happy Honda owners. And satisfied customers are our best ambassadors. Let's listen to what they have to say.
I've been using ATVs for probably the last 20-25 years. I picked up a Honda 300 here, got probably in the beginning, and then built a bigger spray rig, needed a bigger Honda, picked up a 400 not that long ago as well. So I still use a 300 for light duty work. The 400 is my main horse. When you had adverse weather this time of year, your windows are very limited. You have 1 week windows. ATV helps you get in quicker rather than a regular full-blown tractor or even a light tractor. ATV is much easier to get on the ground. Weeds are, definition of weeds, anything that you do not want in your crop. So I'm growing alfalfa now, but last year's wheat crop is coming up. You need to spray that, and that's what we were doing today earlier. ATVs are very, I'd say they're essential. All my neighbors have them. They're used all through the winter and mainly used in adverse conditions, but they're used throughout the year for other jobs as well. And yes, they have a definite place. They keep me profitable, let's put it that way. If neighbor went up to me and asked me how they're working out, I'd highly recommend them. They save you a boatload of money, and enough said.
Martinez Ranches and Honda go back before I was born. My father had ATCs, the 250, and he's got pictures of me that I don't remember it. I was real young, but as a baby, he's ever since then he's always on Honda, nothing but Honda. We do everything for customers as far as we lease property. We have our own property, and then we do custom work, which would be maybe just spraying or harvesting or pruning or something like that. For example, we're here right now with there's 10,000 trees we planted, pistachio trees. It's roughly around 95 acres. Right now we're just we're doing spraying for it, but we'll also, once the trees mature, we'll be harvesting it, and as well as taking care of the rest of the property. The biggest asset they are to us is for our weed spraying. We farm close to 2,500 acres or so, and we spray all of it. So, when the spray season's here, they're working, 7 days a week, 10-hour days. Without them, it would be, I wouldn't even know what it would do. There's not a substitute for the Honda because of the weight matter. Anything else, like an alternative, would be tractor. It would disturb the ground too much, especially if you're doing almonds or walnuts. Those are crops that when you harvest them off the ground. So if you have a big rut left behind, then you don't get that part of the crop. Once you harvest them, you shake them, they drop in that rut. You can't pick them back up out of it. You got to go through by hand, and that costs a lot more money and a lot more time. If another farmer asked me about the effectiveness of a Honda ATV, I would have to tell them that that's the best thing money could buy. I mean, they're reliable, and nothing beats reliability, especially in farming. You have equipment break down all the time, but when it comes to a Honda ATV, you never had that problem. It's never even a worry.
using ATVs and horses now for about 30 years. When we first bought the ranch, we used strictly horses. And when the Big Reds came out in 1983, we started with the Big Reds. We run about 6 ATVs and about 6 horses. We run a very diverse operation. We've got about 12,000 acres of a variety of rangeland, rolling hills, irrigated pasture, and row crop land. On a day-to-day basis, when we're moving small groups of cattle, the ATVs are invaluable.
Every day out here on these ranches is a different day, and we have a lot of different jobs to do during our average day. And our main tools that we use to help us achieve those jobs that get done are horses and our Hondas and our working cattle dogs. And we use some of those all at the same time. Some days we'll use one all day or the other all day, but they all work very efficiently to help us get the job done in a timely fashion and get it done right the first time.
In our irrigated pasture, my irrigators will go out there with the ATVs. They'll whistle, the cattle come running. They know that it's time. Cows are pretty smart and they're creatures of habit. They know when it's time to move to new areas. When we hook up the horse trailer, we'll load up the Hondas in the horse trailer just like the horses. And sometimes you'll have both in the same trailer even, and take them out to the job site. And it's just become kind of a mutually beneficial tool to have in your toolbox.
We've always been strictly only users and owners of Honda ATVs. We currently own 8 of them in our fleet. We call them our Japanese quarter horses. And we will always continue to work with Hondas. They hold up to the wear and tear. They have great serviceability, great resale value. It's just been a really good all-around tool for us over the years.
Thanks for watching today. We hope you learned a lot about the Honda Ranchers, their superior engineering and attention to detail that goes into them, and that when it comes to ATVs, nothing outworks a Honda.